Saturday mornings with Paul Holmes. Powered by Still Shop. They're right into outdoor power equipment.
Allyson Gofton now, good morning at News Talk ZB.
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Thank God for the phone quality. I take it you are now home in Auckland and back from the lagoon in Tonga.
Yes, I'm not hanging around over a coral reef in a lagoon trying to talk to you.
No, it did sound wonderful, though. It sounded wonderful where you were. Anyway, so vanilla is still kind of absorbing you. And what more have we learnt about vanilla?
Well, it was very interesting. First up, it's an orchid. It's one of only 3 orchids that actually produces food of any description. And so it produces the vanilla bean. It's like taking a bunch of those thick green beans that you buy in your supermarket, about 8 or 10 of those, and hanging them on a vine. And the vine grows along the ground and up a pole. In places like India, it grows up the trees, and the pepper, like the pepper vine. But in Tonga, the Heilala Vanilla is growing up lovely big kind of like shafts of coconut husks. And it's growing all the way along the ground in a kind of a large area, really. They're producing about 1.5 tons a year, and that vanilla comes down here to New Zealand, where it is processed into vanilla paste and vanilla essence, and we can buy it. So we're really doing some good in buying product grown in this area.
1.5 tons of vanilla, that's a lot of pods.
It's an enormous amount of pods. The pods are picked when they're going little yellow at the bottom, and then they are boiled. They are actually boiled in water, or they're plunged into very hot water 3 times. Then they're taken out, and they are placed in, and up in Tonga it was gorgeous, they're placed in an old freezer that no longer works, but somewhere where they can be kept at a temperature. They are left there to cook for some days before they are taken out and spread out on wire mats in the sunshine and left there to dry. And it's once they have been blanched in that hot water that they go from their green colour and they begin the browning process and become dark brown to black. Now, if you're buying your vanilla pods and they have actually got white crystalline or crystals on the outside of it, that is a mark of excellent quality. And the vanilla that is being grown in Tonga, which we can get here, is got some of the highest vanillin content, and that's actually what you want of the vanilla being produced in the world. So it's a very good quality.
Isn't that strange that when we see something as flavoured like vanilla flavoured, we think of it as plain?
Isn't that sad? And it has, and to a large way, it's become, we just think of plain. And you know what, some of the vanilla essences that you buy, they taste more of caramel than they do of true vanilla. Vanilla pods will keep indefinitely, and they also, one of the reasons that they are so expensive, Paul, is they actually have to be hand-pollinated. The flower only lasts for 24 hours, and the flowers do not flower on that bunch all at the same time. So every day, by hand, you have to go through and pollinate them. There's only one place in the world, that's Mexico, where the vanilla pod's flowers will actually can be pollinated unaided by human beings. So everywhere else around the world, we've got to do it by hand.
Why is that? Why Mexico?
I've no idea. Please don't ask me that, Paul. That's far too difficult at this hour of the morning.
Well, you know, that's one of the problems in the United States with the pumpkin. For example, I think the pumpkin only flowers for about 1 or 2 days. I think so.
Well, we're having a lot of trouble because, you know, we're losing our bees.
We're losing the bees, and so what they were doing, because the pumpkin, you know, you had to you had to make sure your pumpkin flowers pollinated each other.
Now, it's strange you should mention...
They would drive around with 18-wheelers with beehives on them.
Strange you should mention pumpkins, because, you know, pumpkin is the biggest export from Tonga.
Is it?
Yes, you needed to know that, didn't you?
Thank you. I'm pleased to know that.
Excellent. Put that under you for the next time you're having a conversation about vegetables.
Very good indeed. And then on your website, you've got a wonderful recipe, because Peter Gordon was cooking, no less a figure than Peter Gordon was cooking for you for several days in Tonga.
He was. Look, it was an absolute treat to have somebody of the generous nature and absolutely talented skill of Peter Gordon cooking for us. As we sat on the beach, he demonstrated to us over 3 days, about a dozen recipes on how to include vanilla in your cooking. It was a true treat.
So on your website you've added Peter Gordon's panna cotta recipe, which looks wonderful, and of course it involves 1 vanilla pod and cream and caster sugar and almond liqueur and cream and gelatin.
Lots of cream, and delicious if eaten with some kind of poached fruit that might have a little bit of the vanilla in it as well. In summer I like to have it with poached peaches. This time of the year, a gentle poached pear would be beautiful.
Very good, Allyson. And you are ecook.co.nz. Allyson Gofton at News Talk ZB, 5 to 10.
Kai to Pie, Auckland on your plate.